don't we go ahead and get started? Alright, so to start off today, I just like restarted Storybook and it renders just fine, so I'm not sure what was happening with not getting the styled icons to work. But when I was refreshing the client or the website, it is now broken and looks like this. And in the console, it says something about styled components initialized in this application. You may have it several times. And so now I'm reading this page where it kind of talks about why this could happen. And a monitor repo setup is exactly what we have. And I think the reason why is because I actually added styled components in the website. So I'm importing styled components right here to create this container. And we're also using this server style sheet, though I think we've had that for a while now that I think of it. This is the new thing that I added. I also installed styled icons on the website, so I'm wondering if that broke it. What challenges do you face when working for companies as a consultant dev? What challenges do I face? Like, are you talking more of like technical challenges or business challenges? Hey Lulu, hey Beepo, good to see you guys again. So styled icons is randomly working now. I just restarted Storybook and now it's good to go. But the web package broke. Why not Axios? Yeah, what would I use Axios for this particular project? Alright, and now everything's working again. So styled icons like breaks things on this for some reason, so I just need to not have it installed. Alright, so now I just need to style this button into something nice. So I think I want to display flex this. I don't know if it's weird to have flex inside of a button, because I want these side by side. I was kind of expecting it to live reload. I guess it's still building. You can use the as prop and rebase to have it render as another thing. So should I do it? Oh, so should I do flex as a button then? So I should have my button as a flex. All right, let's try this. So as is a string. Let me try if I just do button here. All right, now that's displaying flex. Storybook is really not liking this styled icons. Ever since I added it, it's just like died. It was complaining about the TypeScript types, so I didn't set it like that at first. Alright, I think I'm about just removing styled icons because this is straight destroying the productivity of Storybook. Well, this particular button I'm actually going to be remaking, so I'm totally fine using the button that comes from Rebase and then adding styling on top of it, because this is actually the button I'm trying to create here is this one. So similar to how Spectrum or other sites you have a sign in with GitHub, that's what I'm trying to make right now. And for whatever reason, styled icons has basically made Storybook just start crawling. Yeah, I think I'm just going to replace it. I don't think it's worth it. This is just way too slow. Exactly. I'm just going to switch to a simple SVG. It's still building. I wanted to see what this looked like on GitHub to see if anyone uses this. I can see if it just gives me the SVG. I guess I can download them. What is this one called? I should keep this up so I can use it as a template. Alright, so I need the white one. Yep, this will work. It'd be nice if they just gave me the SVG here. Alright, so the one I care about is the octo icon mark. Alright, maybe it's called mark. Hey, Iris. Alright, so I'm just going to create a icon component here. I need to practice doing this, so I'm gonna say new file. Just press spacebar on Mac to quickly see the SVG. Like here, and then press space. Oh, nice. Thanks, that's a cool tip. Yep, that's the right icon. I was kind of just guessing and hoping that was the right icon. So this is going to be like a generic icon component I can use for multiple things. I wonder if I should have the size match the view box. I'm not actually very knowledgeable about the best way to do this with the SVGs, but I'm going to try that out. I'm not sure what's going to happen if we don't include the even odd fill rule. We'll see what happens. Alright, so now we can use this icon over here. So let's just go ahead and remove this. I already removed it from my web, but I also need to remove it from my next config. So I was gonna wait for this to auto reload, but it's being super duper slow. So notice when I have the icon name equal, it actually auto completes GitHub here. That's a little trick that I like to do with TypeScript. So on my icon component over here, I have the list of all my icons, and all that is an object, and the keys are all the valid icons that the user could specify. So in my TypeScript props, I say key of type of icons, and that's just my object. And so now I make sure anyone who's using this icon component, they're using the name of icons that are actually available in my little map over here. And I'm going to try the default size for now. I think I stopped. Nope, Storybook is still online. So let's see if Storybook renders this. Nice. So it looks like it's rendering okay now. So it becomes a union type. That's neat. Yes, I believe so. All right. So why are they not side by side? Let's click on this. All right, so I want this to say display flex, and it's currently display inline block. So let's try the inverse. Nope, inverse didn't do it either. And the inverse looks worse. So I'm just gonna do it here and not even worry about it then. All right, what is you complaining about? Oh, we didn't pass a variant in. What are the different variants for a button? Let's see what I have in my theme. So buttons, I have primary and I have topic. And then I should also have GitHub. And this is where I should say display flex. So that's what I was doing wrong, guys. Maybe this is where I should say button and have my variant be GitHub. How's that look? No? Bam. I think this variant thing is what I should be using. All right, background color. I'm guessing that's black. RGB 2326. Okay. Do we want white type? Yes, we do. All right, let's see what that looks like. Should be black on white now. We don't need this anymore. Hey, Poteris. There we go. It's being randomly slow again. Alright, so I want the white on the outside and the black on the inside. And what I'm curious about is whether this was supposed to be the even odd thing that it had on it. So fill fill rule even odd. Okay, that doesn't seem to have done anything. Is Storybook slow? It was really slow when I added this library called styled icons, so I actually just removed it. It's been in general pretty fast though. So I'm not sure how I get the inversion of it with SVG. What do you mean by non-zero? There we go, that's what I wanted. Oh, try putting non-zero right here. Nope, seems not to work. Looks like we need the fill, which, let's see if I can just put the fill here. Yep, so I can add the fill there. So what I'll do then is I'm gonna say you have to pass in the fill color, which is gonna be a string. Can't you just change dark to white? What do you mean? Like, that's what we want. And looks like changing the fill does that for us. I think I need to align this center. I also want them to be swapped sides. Alright, so let's try align items center. Alright, that centers it nicely. And so now I can say so what is ours gonna say? Sign in with GitHub. Sign in with GitHub. And is that an uppercase H? Yeah. And let's do the font size. They do 8 for that, 14 for this. So let's try 14 and see how that looks. Alright, what font am I using on this? Let's use our new handy dandy tool. Aw, it doesn't work on this for some reason. It doesn't look like I'm not sure if we have Rubik set. It doesn't look like it, so I'm gonna add Rubik. Unless the font size is being computed to that. Font family is system UI. Yep, so it's not. Well, Storybook has crashed once again. And this might need to be a 12 pixel font size anyway, because it's a pretty long line of text that we want. And we may need to add like some padding on the icon to the right. That way it doesn't bump into it. Let that reload. Don't think we need any more octo icons for now. And I'm just going to get rid of, we're not doing style icons anymore. I am a fan of like having like these variant things. That's pretty nifty. But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me very similar of passing in class name, putting a CSS class name, and then just putting all the CSS here, right? This is like basically the same thing at this point. It's a little bit different because this is like a theme, right? But it almost feels like writing a CSS component. Or if I was writing this in CSS. All right, so where's our button? That font looks kind of weird on that. What is the other font? Are we using that for buttons? Yep, we're using Rubik on that. For some reason, it looks a little weird to me. What do you guys think? Too much space? We need to make this look like you can click it too. You need to give it a hover. I guess this doesn't have a hover. We just need to make it so it looks like you can click it. I think maybe like 0.75. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a little bit too much space with one rim. All right, so oops. All right, has it just not refreshed yet? Should have a cursor. Let me refresh myself. There we go. I think I want to get rid of like this blue that pops up, but that's going to be like a global change, I think. It's one of these things. I believe it's this WebKit ring focus, the outline. So if I say outline none, yeah, that gets it. So I think I just want to remove the outline from everything. So I'm going to say global style. Oh, it's mainly Chrome that adds this. I guess it did say it was a WebKit thing, so that makes sense. Now we're not doing the global style here, so I guess it won't show up here, but it'll show up over here. All right, so I'm going to say GitHub Button is complete. Let's go ahead and export it. Oh, it's good. It's good for accessibility, the ring is. So it's bad that I'm turning it off. I guess it doesn't really matter for this case, like if it were to show up, because as soon as you click the button, you're going to be taken to a different page anyway, so you wouldn't even see it. We really only see it on Storybook. All right, so our nav bar over here, we're now going to have a button, which is wrapped in a link. GitHub button. All right, so let's do this. I think I just need to restart TypeScript so it knows about the new button. It looks like Spectrum uses a different font family just for this button. I don't know if this what font works all the time. The Rubik feels a little weird on this button for some reason. Like the white kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see that on the stream, but it just like has a weird kind of look to it. So I don't even know if I want Rubik on it. I don't know if it just clashes with the black. Where do I specify font family? And I'm okay if it's like a little bit different. I don't need it to be identical to Spectrum's, but we want it similar-ish. I think it looks a little bit better without the Rubik font, to be honest. So I'm just going to go ahead and not include it. Set some letter spacing on the letters. What's the font weight? I think it's just the normal font weight. Just kidding, it's bold. Like 1 pixel? Is that too little? Man, it's slow to show up. Let's just refresh. I really messed up my Storybook for some reason. It's now gotten really slow. What do you guys, how much letter spacing should I put? Does this one have letter spacing that we can use? Nope. I guess I should unbold it as well. So turn the font weight off. What do you think? Don't worry about the letter spacing and just say font weight normal. I'm cool with that. All right, so now in our nav bar, we can have that rendered, and we're just going to use this text. All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like. Look, it gets a little underline there. All right, I'm just going to not worry about putting a hover on links and add that. I'll create like a link component that has that. It should refresh in a second, and hopefully we shouldn't see this. Did it crash building? Yes. Alright, so building looks like it's fine, but Next.js has crashed. Stuff has been crashing pretty frequently. It feels a little fragile. Alright, now we don't have the underlines under this stuff. I like to use a link button that just has a button that with router. Yeah, I could probably use that. This particular link doesn't actually go to our website. It actually goes to, like, we're on localhost 3000. This actually redirects to our server. So if we wanted to do this, we couldn't actually even use like history.push. We would have to set like window.location is equal to like localhost 4000 to actually navigate it. So I figured might as well just do a link so it's a little bit cleaner. All right, so this is a header now. So that's what I was wondering. Like, I saw this and this looks a little bit out of line. So I want these to align. Restart VS Code sometime, reload is not enough. Actually, I probably should reload my VS Code. I'm just gonna do that real quick. I've been using it all day today and haven't really shut down. I may have to do a hard reload where I actually like exit the app, but I think that should be okay. Alright. If I do like this. I think I want to do a line item center here. Did you do anything fun between streams today? I went to the gym, which was pretty fun. I leave Vim running for a week or two, no problem. Alright, I'm a noob. This is the wrong thing. I was changing something that it wouldn't be affected. Here's what I care about. This link. Alright, so let's do that. I think I just need to do text align center. Or would it be vertical line middle? Nope, nope. Display flex. There we are. So my link, I need to display flex in align items. So this, I'm gonna say. Okay, yeah, this is not a typo, but I'm just putting this in for now. That way I, what this really is double get. I have triple get in there. That way I can see what the button looks like because I'm already logged in. Will it be possible to sign in / sign up with only GitHub? Yes. So that should display flex. Now I want to align items center. because this is now a flex thing, I don't think that that'll do what I think it wants. Yeah, that didn't do what I think it was going to. Can Flex have a font family? Doesn't look like it. No, I think I want display flex. There we go. Or sorry, I think I mean I want align items. It was just figuring out at which level we wanted it. What's the tricky part? All right, so now these two line up. We can put this thing back. All right, so now we have a super simple header at least. And now if I click this, it'll take me to the pick repo page. And if I click, it's kind of interesting. Look how it kind of like flickers. And none of it is a pointer. No hover for this GitHub button. I didn't end up adding one. Spectrum doesn't have one, so I was like, I'm not even going to bother adding one. Not sure what's going on with this thing. It won't even let me highlight the text. It'll let me click it though. I think it's because I have a flex there. Let's do that. That's better. It still has a little bit of a flicker thing going on. We had the well, it's a link, so it had the cursor pointer already on it. I think what was happening is I had this next link as the parent to flex, which it did not like. All right, so after I pick a repo, so we come over here. I forgot which one I have. I think it was Grayscale's the one we did. Wow, that was super slow to navigate. I think it's because we're in dev mode and it was rebuilding. Maybe user select none would take off the flicker. Flicker looks like it's gone now. It had something to do with the next link and having it not be directly above a link. Alright, so this is our basic little screen right now. We got our header, we have our code, we have the name of the repository, and we have our little tags. Alright, so that looked pretty smooth when it actually rendered stuff. Oh, what just happened? So what should be displaying is Prism. Yeah, this is what we should have saw. All right. So let's see if I can replicate that breaking again, or if that was just because of like hot module reloading. And then I came over here, I typed grayscale. Then I clicked on grayscale. And now it works. All right. And we can scroll to the side. That's how GitHub works as well. So what do I want to work on next with this? So one thing that can be cleaned up and we need to create is the kind of like questions below here. Maybe I was loading a Prism bundle. Maybe and like the load didn't work or something. I'm not sure. Like sometime like randomly stuff will just break where it does not render the syntax highlighting. And I don't know if that's just because like we have like a small bug in our code to where it won't highlight the code under this condition, or like stuff just gets wonky when you use hot module reloading with Next.js. After a little bit, random stuff just comes up. So it's kind of hard to say. I'm not going to worry about it right now, but if I see something more consistent, then I'll take a look at it. Kind of the other thing we can make as well is, let's say I have 48 to 66. We're going to add a question. Now we can see the highlight. One thing we need to add as well is like some kind of page where I can see this post and I can see all the questions someone's asked for a repo. Will you give an option for people to choose the syntax highlighting? I think so, because it's relatively easy for us to switch it out. Because for us, this got out of order. For us to switch it, all it is I think we put in a code file. So I have it called prism-koi. All I have to do is import something else, and so I can just import it dynamically down there if I need to. And like, I don't know, we could do Okadia. There's a couple other ones. And then it just kind of swaps it out. And now you have a new one. So it's very easy to swap out if we want to give the user that option, and I think we do. From a UI perspective, I would add breadcrumbs on the file tree, sort of. So is that different than what we have like right here? Like this needs to probably be styled more, but we have in the grayscale project, if you go to the grayscale folder, you now are on image, and I can click on it to go up a folder. And this actually is snapshotting the code. The code should never change because we're actually getting the commit for it. So now it's actually going to be pretty resilient to if people change the underlying code. Would it be difficult to implement where you can mouse down, drag the lines you want to highlight, and then on mouse up, open up a modal and be a tooltip where you like to enter that information? I was wondering about that myself. I have no idea like what's involved in doing something like that. I feel like it's pretty doable because I feel like that's kind of how Medium works. And I may be able to create something with Slate. Because like for example, right, when you highlight, they have a little thing that pops up and you know which lines the user has selected. So I could probably do something like that. But I have no idea how complex it would be. And the other thing is, this is currently Prism, right? So I'm not sure how to mix Prism with that sort of feature and like get Prism to still syntax highlight nicely, right? Because like if we look at what this is, Prism just adds a crap load of span tags all over the place for this. Actually, we can maybe check if Slate Prism.js. On GitHub, you can click on a line, it would highlight in yellow. Yes, a single line is much easier. A Slate plugin to highlight code blocks using Prism.js. This is kind of exactly what we want, I think. Let's see if there's an example. Actually, I think this would work then. We could give this a try. I'm going to put this as a back burner idea though. This repository is now using a fork of Slate. Interesting. So they're just keeping a fork up to date. Gitbook is. This is pretty old. I don't know how complex their code is. That's the other thing. This doesn't look too bad. We could kind of code our own version of this. Yeah, this is a super simple plugin. I could definitely see implementing this then. If not, using it straight out works. Because with Slate, I believe you can get the line numbers that they have like highlighted, so we'd be able to get the information. So that'll allow us to do exactly what you were talking about. Okay, so these are like individual pages, and if I go here, this is like the main repository where I can see this. I guess below here, this is where the general questions should go. And that would be a lot more efficient than forms. Yeah, I think it'd be just more intuitive too, right? Like it feels kind of awkward to be like, all right, I went from here, that's 2, and then I want to go to here to 11, and then my question. Definitely agree. I think it's just bam and being able to do it. So I think on this page, we don't have a path, and I think what we want to do is fetch all the questions on this particular page. And I don't know if we have a query for that. Oh, and you know what? Before, I wanted to show like the code snippets too. So let's store the code snippets. Here's the code for adding event listeners to the numbers. I don't know if we need anything to like click on the 5 for now, but I'll add that to the catalog of things in case we ever want to. Let me just save that URL. All right, so let's do that real quick. So when we create a code, let's say code file, to select the line numbers. Oh, are you thinking like, so are you thinking you would click 5 and then you would click 13 and then it would put both of those, and it would grab that? That's actually kind of interesting. What do you guys like better? Do you guys like highlight, or do you like click 2 of these? I think it would be simpler to just click 2 of these. Implementing that would be easier. But I don't know if you guys like selecting it better or just clicking the 2 numbers. So we're gonna now include the code snippet, which is going to be what? Code. So we're going to split on new line, then we're going to slice from start to end, and then we're going to join on new line. Is code sometimes undefined? That's true. On mobile, you wouldn't be dragging and dropping really, or selecting as easily. So maybe clicking the two buttons is what we should go with. All right, so let's see if my algorithm works for this. And then if it works, then let's go ahead and like just try implementing the button clicks real quick, because I think that'll be pretty simple to implement. Well, we'll see, but I think it will. All right, so if I want to do line 1, so line 1. Now let's not do starting line. Let's do line 2 to line 4. Text. Did it not send the code snippet? I literally have it right here. Is this the response? And that's why? Yeah, that's the response. Here's the payload. I have new line, print absolute. So 2 to 4 got this line and this line. So it needs to be start minus 1. Also, you should consider the case that the line number is not on the screen on mobile. Therefore, trying to scroll would probably be screwed up. To fix this, you'd have to only have the line number clickable and not the whole line so users can scroll down. Yes, I think just having the number clickable is what we're going to go with. I don't know. I know what you mean. Because if you were to click here on your phone, you wouldn't be able to scroll well. I'm actually curious what Prism looks like on one's phone. I mean, it doesn't look awful per se. I mean, we don't have all the room in the world, but that actually doesn't look too bad. And then the user would just click on the side. The only thing with clicking on the side is these numbers are pretty small. I feel like I would fat finger that pretty easily. We'll have to play with it. Let's just try adding it and see what happens. So all right, so here we're gonna include code snippet. All right, so let's try this clicking on line numbers. maybe we can increase the font size of the line numbers, and maybe that'll give it a better chance. So it is issue 655. And we want to go down to comment 12.8. There's not that many comments. Okay. Yeah, I think increasing the padding is probably what we're going to be doing. Either that or like font size, I guess. So in 2015, this guy said, I'll take a look at it next week. I could see this being neat as a separate plugin with a dependency on line highlight. Alright, so it looks like no one actually ever got to it. But this guy wrote like this little bit that he has. So prism.hooks after highlight. He does this. Oh boy. So let's copy this down in our ref, and then I think we're gonna do this in the on effect is where we want to set up this hook. So that's gonna be at the top here. Have you broken anything using hooks yet? So far, no. Some of the TypeScript types feel a little weird that I've had to ignore. But I don't know if that's because I'm using the latest types, like 16.7 or what. But like, functionality seems to have been nothing bad happened. On effect. I should be using use effect. Alright. So after highlight, this is possibly undefined. If it's not defined, I don't think we can really do anything. So we're just going to return. Did you hear about the 8-year-old giving a talk at React New York? Yeah, I did. That was pretty cool. Alright, so class name just does not exist. What is all this junk that he adds in here? And then he re-highlights. I think there just may be an easier way to add this. I want to see if I can like... Oh. So these things... So to make them clickable... Maybe we should just render our own thing. Because I don't think they're clickable. Well, I mean, we know they're not clickable. What I mean is I don't think they're a DOM element. Like, I think CSS adds them. Look what this before is. It's this weird diagonal box. They're empty spans. Yeah, I think it is on YouTube. Ah, I see. So they're this. What's the best way to convert a string to a number? I usually use parseInt. Huh. I don't know how I want to do this. I guess I could try just adding my own line numbers. That may actually just be the easiest. Does the plus operator have side effects? I've seen that used before. I don't know the difference. So at one point, we broke up the code into multiple lines. And I think we're going to do that again. Okay, so code.split. And I think we just need to give it a class name. So I forgot how I do this, so I'm just actually going to go look at one of my earlier commits. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm going to try. I think at some point I was able to get my own line numbers, but I was like, I don't think I want to go that way. I remember it was a commit when I was trying some different stuff. It was before Monaco. So if I can find where I did Monaco, I think it was after Jonah. Add renovate, it was after that. Let's try that. Does token line do it? Huh, nope. I might have to go back to using the Prism React renderer, because that one I was able to split up by line. Let me see if I can see an example of how they do it, and I can kind of see what class name they put on it. What about instead of spans, I did divs? Just for kicks. See if that changes anything. Doesn't look like it does. For a microsecond, but no. Does it not have a link to GitHub? Yeah, we passed token line in. I think there's a try in the browser. So we're just gonna reverse engineer this. So I don't know if expecting is gonna help any, but we can see. So they have the pre-tag. Each div has a class token dash line, which is what we're doing. Worst case scenario, we just go back to this. But I'm going to add a log statement right here and see if there's any other thing that this get line number adds. There we go. I just wanted it to go away. So here I'm going to say console.log get line props, given a line and a key. And let's see the log. Unexpected token. Ah, dang. I hit save and now it forked it. I didn't really want to fork it. I guess it doesn't matter. Sure, what's your question, Beepo? There we are. Why do you need to pass an object with the property subscribe in your GraphQL resolvers to get them to work, not just directly pass the function like with mutations? Maybe this is only a Prisma thing, but it seems like it's everywhere. Are you talking about when you're doing subscriptions? I think that's the only time you need to do it is with subscriptions. And I don't know the technical detail of why you need to say subscribe. Alright, we're just going to download this because I'm not getting anywhere. Yeah, if they're using subscribe, it should be for subscriptions. Why not just pass the post directly instead of always typing subscribe is my question. Um, I think you need it for something, but I don't know what I forget why the reason they like force you to write subscribe when you're doing subscriptions. I remember learning a while ago there was some reason, but I can't remember it. I just kind of use that syntax. I don't think about it too much. So that's lovely. It's half working. This is Python. This is uppercase Prism. Alright, let's try that. And language is going to be Lang. Alright, so I took a step back. So now what happens if I use this ref on this pre-tag? And now we load the language and stuff. Nope. And I'm guessing this stuff has not rendered yet, and so it takes a second maybe. I kind of want to attempt like a set timeout. What else could be the problem here? Oh, so they have a div and then they have a spans inside of it that they break it up into tokens. I'll just dig into their source code for a second. So they normalize tokens. Pick a grammar. I wonder what prism.language is. Curious what that map has. That's it? Oh, this may just be the only languages we have loaded right now. That would make sense. Were you able to separate lines? Not yet. I'm looking at the source code for how this works. So I need to tokenize. So I don't know if I want to do this myself. Hey, look, this is exactly what we want. Is this? I wonder what GitHub uses for syntax highlighting. Oh, they're using their linguist library that they wrote themselves. Dang. Yeah, not the entire, but a lot of GitHub is running on Ruby, I believe. Wait, why is this? Yeah, why is that showing up color? Okay, so that seems to be like the only issue on this. Oh, not Prisma. I need to learn from GitHub and create my own syntax highlighting. No thanks. Alright, I'm going to spend a little bit of time seeing if I can get this solution to work. I think trying to render our own line numbers may be more complex than I first. This highlight component I'm having trouble getting to work correctly. So assuming we keep this and we just render the code. I don't want to build my own though. That's too much effort. So this never gets called because oh, you know what? Actually, no. So the after highlight hook, is that just not being, is that not happening? Actually, maybe putting it in use effect is the wrong place, and that's why we're getting like this weird thing where it's not being called. I'm gonna put it right before we call highlight the language. See if that does it. You need to see me build a computer from scratch. I actually don't know how to build a computer from scratch. Alright, so we're just trying to say document.queryAll.line number rows and then trying to get the spans inside of it. And we're getting no items. I'm actually not a hardware guy at all. I've done like a wee bit with a Raspberry Pi, but I don't want to touch really much more than that. Alright, so this looks way more complex than I thought it was going to be. Console the envarg. Alright, let's see what we have access to here. Alright, so we have the highlighted code. We have an element. I'm just gonna see what they do with this imp thing. Oh, they're actually creating it themselves, maybe it looks like. It looks like partial. It looks like the inside of it. It doesn't look like it includes the line numbers. Yeah. I don't think I want to get into this right now. I think I'm going to keep a form for now. I know it's not as UI friendly / UX as what good. And then tackle this problem at a later date. If I change it and add lines to it, it's one of those things where you come back later and it'll be super easy. Yeah, that's one of the things. It could be just like you just know how to do it at a later point super easily. But for now, see you later. Goodbye. Alright, and I'm going to get rid of the highlight. I don't think we're going to use that. Every time I've tried to add it, it hasn't really worked out. It looks like it could work. It's another one where I'm just not using it right, I don't think. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here today. Commit this code. We'll push it up. I think we may need to pull first, and then we're going to call it a night. See you later, Francis. Ooh, we have a merge conflict. You have to fix a yarn lock? Yuck. Alright. That's one fix. That's another fix. It's gonna take a second to load. See you, Iris. See you guys.